Hello again. Welcome to day 4 of Teleschool. So let's talk about a little bit about what you're going to be doing today with applying the SUCS model and making some graphs. So first of all, there's a page that's posted under day 4 that has appendices to graphing tools. Now I know that a lot of you did not take home your calculators or may not have them. This has a whole list of different places where you can make different kinds of plots to help you out so that you do not have to have your graphing calculator with you, okay? So make sure you give all of those a try before you say can't do it, okay? So that stuff is there right there. There's also, if you have a cell phone that is not Apple, so in other words, like you have a Samsung or something like that, you can always download something called Wabbit. It's an app on your phone, and that phone app will emulate, in other words, let you have a calculator that looks just like the ones that we're using in class. Okay, so let's talk day 4 stuff. So the first thing it asks you to do is you have all this data about these trucks, and it asks you to construct a dot plot and then describe the main features. So to make a dot plot, the first thing you're going to do is draw yourself a number line at the bottom, then go take a look at your data. So it looks like our data starts in the low 20s. So I'm going to write 20 for my first number, then I'll do 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'll do 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, so I have my number line all drawn out for me. And now I'm going to start graphing my dots. So starting with number 31, I'm going to put a dot right above 31. Then I'll put a dot above 27, a second 27, a 28, 24, 32, 28, and you just keep going all the way down all these lists till you have the complete dot plot made. Okay, so that's how you get it started. When you are done, you should have a dot plot that looks just like this one, the one that's in front of you. Now, the second thing it asked you to do was do some analysis. So I'm sorry to say the only way to do the analysis is to actually put the information into your calculator and do one variable statistics. Otherwise, it's just going to take you too long to do all these values. So again, you're going to need to type all of those data points into your calculator. Remember, you can use the frequency list if you'd like, so you could put your frequencies in list 2. Go back and look at the video on how to do the frequencies, and that way you'll know how to do those. So looking at your data, sorry about the pause. I had to get Newton and Pythagoras out of the room. So look at your data. You'll notice that your data is approximately symmetric. Yes, there is a tiny bit of skewing over here to the right, but it's not bad. So we're going to say approximately symmetric. There are no unusual clusters or apparent outliers, so there's not one data point that's away from the others. If you calculate the center, because it's approximately symmetric, we're going to use the mean, which is x bar. That comes out to be 28.14, so we can say about 28 miles per gallon. Your range of values is going to be your highest minus your lowest, so that's 11 miles per gallon. If you want to do standard deviation for your second measure of spread, that comes out to be 2.7479 miles per gallon. And your context, every unit is in miles per gallon. So looking at your description in words, you would say the shape is approximately symmetric with a single mound. There are no apparent outliers. The best measures of central tendency are the mean. Okay, you can also talk about spread, so you will go to the range and standard deviation. And we're not going to focus so much on this second part about how many are within one standard deviation, but that gives you a really good idea of what that looks like. Now, should you use some of the other apps I talked to you about, here's what the dot plots look like, and notice they also have a bar chart with them. Sorry, a box plot with them. Here's another one that makes a nice box plot. Here are two more that make really pretty looking histograms. So again, notice that with these, they give you really nice pictures. And then here, finally, this one has box plots on it. So this one is the metachart.com box and whisker plots. This is what you can do with Excel. If you want to do a histogram in Excel, it'll also do a dot plot and it will do box plots. So Excel is really nice. And notice it gives your 5-number summary down here at the bottom. So let's take a look at our second example. So this one's the stem and leaf plot. So it asks you to do a stem and leaf plot for the weight of luggage. All right, so again, just like last time, you need to think about what's your smallest number, what's your biggest number. And you'll notice that your smallest number that you have on here is 0 pounds. And it looks like we go up into the 40s. So your stems are gonna be your 10 positions, not 10th, 10 positions. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your 10s. And then the ones, which are the second digit, is what we're gonna put down next. So if I have 30, I'll come to the 3. The second digit on the 30 is a 0, so I'll put a 0 down. Next number is a 22. So you go to the 2 for the 10s position and a 2 for the 1s position. The next one's a 26, so go to the 2 and put a 6. The next one is a 27, so 2 and 7. Then you've got 17, 45, 12, 29, 18, 42. Now 3 is only a single digit, so I'm going to put that with the 0. And I'm just going to keep building this out till I have all of the pieces of data on my graph. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do there, is just write all them out in a stem and leaf plot. So here's what your final stem and leaf plot's going to look like. Now the nice thing about a stem and leaf plot is if you take your stem and leaf plot and you turn it sideways, it has the same sort of feel as a dot plot, or if you think about it, you could also see it as a histogram. Okay, so it could also kind of look like a histogram. Now, if you're looking at this histogram, you'll see that it's skewed a little to the left. There's more data over to the right. So when I look at my descriptions, I'm going to say skewed left. There are no clusters or apparent outliers, so my unusual features, nothing there. Because this is skewed, I want to use the median. Okay, your actual median is 30.5. You could say that's about 30, or you could say it's 31, either one. For spread, we would want to talk about range, and we also might want interquartile range, so I'm going to put IQR up here. So IQR is going to be 36 minus 21. So IQR comes out to be 15 pounds. Okay, so 15 pounds. So make sure you do the math on this. Don't just leave it as 36 minus 21. You do have to do the subtraction. Your context is pounds. Now, in order to get these numbers, you are going to need to put it into your calculator or one of the distributions. So if I put in my calculator, this is my 5-number summary. In your calculator, this will say minimum, and this one will say max. But as you know, that's the same stuff. So if you want to write a description, your shape is skewed left, there are no apparent outliers, The best measure of central tendency in this case is median because it is skewed. You would want to give your range, which is 47 pounds, and your interquartile range, which is 15 pounds. So hopefully that one made a lot of sense to you and you looked at it and went, yes, I've seen all of this before. Okay, so let's talk about your next one. Your next one is a histogram. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put these values into your calculator or one of the tools that does a histogram on your computer, and then you're going to make a distribution of your data. So you're going to want to put all of those pieces of data in. Now when you do that, it will construct a histogram that looks like this. As you can see, there's more data on the left side, so that's why we're going to say it's skewed right. There are no obvious clusters. And so since it's skewed, we'll pick the median for our measure of center. Spread, I want to talk about the range. So if I put this in my calculator, I know that it's 106.1 to 93.2, which is a range of 12.9. I would also probably want to look at my IQR. And my IQR in this case is going to be 6.35 ppgs. Okay, and this is points per game. ppgs, that's our context. When you put this in the calculator, here's your 5-number summary. This will be labeled as minimum, and this one will be labeled as maximum. When I want to describe this, the shape is approximately right-hand skewed with a single mound. There are no apparent outliers. The best measure of central tendency is median at 97.35 ppgs. The range is 12.9 ppgs. That's your high value minus your low one. Interquartile range is going to be Q3 minus Q1 of 6.35 ppgs. And again, we're not going to talk about this total range stuff here at the end. So hopefully that question 3 made a lot of sense. So at this point, it moves into practice problems. Now the first practice problem, it already has the little data sitting there for you. You can actually see what it is. You can give a pretty good approximation when you put this into your calculator. Remember that list 2 is going to be your frequency. So if I had list 1 and list 2 in front of me in my calculator, I would say that the number of words is a 1 and the frequency is a 5. Number of letters in the word 2, frequency, I would probably say that's about maybe 17. It's not going to be perfect because you don't know the exact value there, but you're kind of guessing that it looks like about a 17. And then you're just going to keep going down. Number of letters, 3, and that looks like maybe it's at 22. And then the next one, I'm going to say is a 4 with a frequency of 24. And you're just going to kind of move down your list here and you're going to fill them all in. And when you do that, your calculator will give you shape, center, and spread, which you can then describe. This one, second one, is just a set of data. You're going to make a histogram out of it and describe it. Then you're going to come over here and you're going to take this data and notice that the count here, that's your frequency. So the chest size goes in list 1 and the frequency goes in list 2. You're supposed to make a histogram out of it. Now, once you've finished all 3 of those, all 4 of those, then in that case, you will then go and look at your key for how to do it, which is on the next page. Remember, if you have any questions, you can email me either at the school address or my personal address of amy@blafer.com. I would also encourage you to pause the video as you're going along so you can give things a try. Please let me know if you have any issues, problems, or concerns. Hopefully everything will go well for you.